Um, we're going to talk about equipment funding, okay? One of the things that that we do as an organization is we try to touch base uh with every product that we actually have in hand that we are offering to customers. We leave a lot of money on the table, you all. So, what do I mean by that? So many people that's around you that's in business or people that you come in contact with, if they knew that you had funding, even to not only just to do their real estate or to do lines of credit with them, but if they knew that you have the ability to fund the equipment that they need, that would be a big help to a lot of businesses. A lot of businesses, they get money to do acquisitions of the business. They get funding to have for marketing and things of that nature. And they might not have all the necessary funding at that time to buy the equipment that they need. So, think about a factory that's going to need equipment like forklifts. They're going to need machinery. They're going to need, all type of chain belts and things of that nature to run their factory. What about trucking companies that need trucks and freights and things of that nature? Okay, that's equipment. So what about restaurants that need ovens and fryers? Okay, they need stoves. They need ice cream machines and things of that nature. That's all equipment. And so you see people starting businesses every day that need funding for equipment. So we leave this type of stuff on the table because we simply don't know that you have the funding for this. Sometimes you can include equipment, the funding for the equipment in the acquisition loan, and a lot of times that's what they want to do. But sometimes it may not fit in there, and you have to get a separate loan to do equipment. Okay. So what about people who's in the printing business and need big printers, things of that nature? You can think of a number of different businesses that need equipment. Okay. So what I want you to do is I want you to think about this. And this is a hypothetical question, but when you think about it, and you think about it from the standpoint of maybe a business that you've owned before or a business that you desire to have uh, erected, or even just people that you may know this in business, you can use this as a rhetorical question. But you think about that one piece of equipment that the business can't operate with. Think about a business and that one piece of equipment that that business cannot operate with. Okay, so any business that you think of, uh, all businesses need some sort of equipment. Now, whether that equipment qualify for, equipment funding, that's different. But every business needs some type. I mean, even me, I need computers, I need mics, I need things of that nature. This is all considered equipment, but I can't get this on the equipment funding, if that makes sense. But it's still equipment funding, but it doesn't qualify for the equipment funding that we would be talking about. But think about another business. That one piece of equipment, they in business, they got that one piece that they can't survive without. That machinery. Okay. And this one when you start trying to tap into different arenas of how you can capitalize, you have to think, man, maybe I can do some equipment funding. What about those that's looking for vehicles? That need a vehicle. You can do equipment funding under you can do vehicles under equipment funding. As long as those vehicles are 6,000 pounds or more, you can write that up under the business as equipment. You all know that. So instead of going to a dealership to go get your what's that truck? The Mercedes G Wagon, which is 6,000 pounds. All you have to do is look up vehicles that's 6,000 pounds or more. Those are the vehicles that you can choose from to get loans for under the equipment funding process. But every entity and every business needs some sort of equipment. So you guys are running to businesses right now, the startups, they're going to need equipment funding. What about businesses that's expanding? They're going to need equipment funding. Okay. So these are the type of things you need to be on the lookout for. So why does it matter? Why does equipment funding matter? I know, if you haven't been in the industry long enough, these are some questions that you probably start asking yourself. Well, the reason is it enables businesses to grow and expand, what we just discussed, right? Equipment and funding enables those businesses to grow and to expand, to give them more funding to get the equipment that they need so they can expand. And what it also does is it preserves their cash flow, right? It preserves their cash flow. So instead of them using their funding or their cash that they have coming in, they can just leverage the business and leverage the business credit and just get equipment for their loan. I'm sorry, loan for the equipment. Okay, it keeps businesses competitive. It keeps businesses competitive. It allows businesses to have access to the latest technology. Well, what I mean by that, being able to be competitive is being able to keep up with your competition. So a lot of times businesses, when you're dealing with even established businesses that would utilize equipment funding, knowing their competition, or maybe they have something that this particular company don't have, and they need to, step up their pace a little bit, right? So it keeps them in a position to be able to get more equipment and expand and keep them competitive in the marketplace. Okay. And then it also allows them to get access to the latest technology. And we all know that technology is changing on a regular basis. So to get enhanced technology and to be able to bring that into your business, what does that do for your business? Well, it grows your business. It grows the infrastructure of the business. So equipment funding is important. Okay. A lot of people brush over it because they're thinking about the real estate funding. They're thinking about, the business lines of credit and things like that. But this is another piece where you can tap into another income stream, just looking at the equipment that they may need, right? So, there's a difference between the financing and paying in cash. So here's the benefits. Number one, it preserves the working capital. Most businesses don't want to use their liquid cash to buy this equipment. They don't want to lose their liquidity. They want to leverage the fact that they've been in business for a number of time. They want to leverage their cash flow. They want to leverage these things in the form of credit. Okay. So financing opposed to paying in cash, especially for equipment, is always a win-win because that's what it does. It allows you to keep your cash in your pocket. It preserves that working capital that you have. Keep that in your pocket and maybe use that towards marketing dollars or, maybe use it toward giving the employees raises or what have you, right? It offers tax benefits, okay? It offers tax benefits when you're purchasing equipment because you're financing. So you're not paying on capital gains or anything like that on financing this equipment. You actually got a flexible repayment option on equipment. So some of the payment options may be 3-year, 4-year, 10-year loans, depending on the lender, but they're flexible repayment options. Okay. So also the benefits is also the large upfront expenses. People know that, that when you're buying equipment and you need things for your business, whether you need a truck, an oven, a stove, a huge copier machine, what about a press machine, things of that nature, forklifts, you don't want to use that upfront cash. Okay. You don't want to use that down. You don't want that's a downside to the business. All right. You don't want to do that. You don't want to tie up your cash with equipment. Okay. It also limits your business growth when you do that. All right. So you want to keep your liquidity in place and you leverage your credit. Okay. So how do you qualify for these loans? How do you qualify for these equipment loans? So number one, they want to see that you do have a business plan. They want to see your business plan. All right. They want to see that you have a solid business plan. What are you going to do? What's the growth? How's this going to operate? How's this equipment going to help your business? Things like that. It doesn't have to be a drawn out business plan, but they want to make sure that that you know what you're doing after you buy this equipment. After they fund you for this equipment, excuse me, they want to know that you know what you're doing. Okay. You want to make sure that you maintain, and you want to make sure that you're maintaining a good credit history, whether that be your personal and also your business credit. You want to keep that credit history top notch. All right. You want to prepare financial statements. These are called personal financial statements, and not only personal financial statements, business financial statements. You want to research the lenders and compare the rates. Okay. You want to understand the loan terms before you committing to these type of equipment funding loans. Right. You want to make sure you understand the terms, and you want to make sure your client understand the terms. All right. So, what challenges have you ever been into equipment financing, or if you had any options or opportunities to do equipment finances? Think about, and you can use this as a rhetorical question. Just think about the challenges that you may have experienced. Think about the challenges that you face when you was acquiring this equipment for the business. I know some of you all on this call have been in different, business ventures, and you needed equipment. I know I'm looking at some of the people that's on this call, and I just know some of your previous businesses that you needed equipment. So, what challenges did you face in acquiring that business equipment? And these are the same type of challenges that your clients are facing, and your clients aren't wanting. So, put yourself in their position and then wonder how they're going to get the machinery that they need without depleting their cash.
Hi, Mr. Leo.
Okay, that's one of the big things there. Okay, so when you're talking about financing equipment without draining your cash flow, the challenge. Many businesses need equipment to operate efficiently, but large upfront cash flow, man, that's a no-no. Investing in equipment shouldn't mean sacrificing your working capital for operations. You shouldn't do that. Well, I've heard people in the past say, man, I can just pay for this. I'll just pay for it. Why? Why do that? Why use your liquid cash when you can use your credit? Invest in in something else. Leverage your credit for this equipment finance. Okay, fund. All right. What about how to finance the equipment smartly? Number one, with equipment leasing, you want to pay in smaller monthly installments instead of a large lump sum. When you're leasing the equipment, opposed to buying it, you're going to be paying in smaller monthly installments. All right. Why do people want to lease equipment opposed to buying? So at the end of the term, on whether if they don't live in stay in business, things that they can get get the equipment back when the term is up, and they're not stuck with it. They're not eating the depreciation of it, things of that nature. Okay, equipment loan, secure funding specifically for purchasing equipment with fixed payment plans. You want to secure funding specifically for purchasing equipment with fixed payment plans. Okay. What about some suppliers? Some suppliers offer financing with low interest rates. It's called vendor finance. If any of you have ever heard of vendors finance, well, it actually is almost like sellers finance. Okay. But a vendor actually is financing their own equipment with you. The suppliers. Okay, that's always a good thing if you can get it right through the vendor, because you'll get a better rate. It's their equipment. You get lower interest rate. Of course, they're going to want to see that you qualify for that. All right. A business line of credit is another way. We got business line of credit as well. That's another way to buy equipment. So flexible funding to cover equipment costs when needed. This is something that a lot of people are trying to do. They're trying to really get more lines of credit available to and made available to them for a number of reasons. Some to buy equipment, some to buy properties, things of that nature. You can use SBA money as well and alternative lenders to get equipment. These are government-backed or private financing options with favorable terms to you. All right. So that's another option in order to finance equipment smartly. So, instead of digging in your pocket, there's a lot of different ways to do that without depleting your cash, whether you're using SBA loans, whether you're using business line of credit, whether you're doing equipment leasing. equipment loans or vendor financing. These are different ways to obtain equipment. So it's not just one way. Okay, it's not just one way. You guys can remember that if you ever come up against a situation where you need to talk to the owner and ask them to do vendor finance, or not the owner, the company to do vendor financing instead of them outsourcing. Elon Musk didn't pay up front for Tesla's uh, gigafactories and advanced machinery. Instead, Tesla leveraged strategic financing and government-backed funding to scale production while maintaining cash flow for innovation and expansion. So, heck, Tesla even leveraged strategic finance. So once again, here's a company, a huge billion-dollar company that knows to leverage their their business credit and their business itself, opposed to leveraging or utilizing their liquid capital. Okay, so just keep that in mind. So the key takeaways here: just smart financing options. Just talking about smart financing options as it relates to equipment. This is that one area that people just really keep overlooking. They keep overlooking equipment. I mean, this is a area where you can make money. And here's the thing: equipment can be funded in as little as 5 days, very quickly. It's not a drawn out process or anything like that. You can use equipment funding and fund equipment in less than 5 days. All you basically do is once the customer has applies and they go through the process, what the lender's going to do is going to ask for an invoice from the vendor, okay? And they're going to see, that this is the real equipment, and they're going to pay the vendor. Once they see the equipment is a real equipment, is a tangible, an item, they're going to deal directly with the lender and pay the lender. And you still are keeping your liquid cash. I'm just saying if you're the client or even for yourself. So the takeaway is just smart financing options help you to acquire the tools that you need without disrupting that cash. This is what this is all about. You have to keep pushing that into your client's mind. You don't want them to disrupt their cash, Mr. Customer. Okay?
Good work, Johnny.
Right.
How you feel, man?
You want them to choose the right funding method that aligns with their business strategies. All right. All the different funding methods may not align with everybody's business strategy. Some people may not want leases. Some people may not want vendor financing. Some people may not want it, those, different ways. They may just want, a line of credit. They may just want, you to leverage their, just their business credit to get it. Whatever the case may be, there's different ways to structure the loan opposed to just the one way. Okay? So now the way to get started is to quit talking and to begin doing. That's Walt Disney. Once again, we have all these different products at our fingertip, and we learn about them, and we have access to the funding for this, but it means nothing if we don't get started. If we don't start promoting and producing the information that we've been gathering, whether it's for equipment funding, whether it's for financing real estate projects or workplace wellness, the way to get started is to quit talking and to begin doing. So every week, when we talk, I always say, one of the things that I always say is pick your niche, pick your poison. There's plenty of products for you to choose from within the network, but pick your poison. Which one are you comfortable with selling amongst your network? Just because we have all the products don't mean that you're going to sell all the products. Find that one area that fits your network. Some of you all have big networks. Some of you all have small networks. Some of you have networks. They have a lot of business owners in there. You have to really dissect your network. Okay, you have to dissect it. So, understanding lease versus loan options for business equipment. Okay, so, all right, so here's the challenge: buying versus leasing equipment. Businesses need equipment, but must decide whether to lease it or whether they want to own it. That's the very first thing, that your client needs to make a determination, right? And whether they want to lease the equipment or whether they want to own it. Now that's going to depend on their budget, their long-term goals. It is also going to depend on the equipment, the lifespan of that equipment, right? So it's also going to depend on, whether that equipment is new or used. Okay, these are the things that this going to go into consideration when you are looking at leasing versus a loan options. What about the equipment lease, right? So when the equipment lease basically means that you're going to rent the equipment for a set period of time and then return it or buy it back later. That's all it is. Just like you lease a vehicle, same thing. You're just renting it you just rent the equipment or the vehicle, whatever, for a set period of time and return it or buy it later. So you can do an equipment lease on a vehicle. How about that? So whether you're going to a car dealership and they want you to put down all this money, you're like, I don't want to put all that money down. What I'll do is I'll just buy it under my equipment leasing program. But it just has to be over 6,000 pounds in order to be considered equipment. All right. So what about you borrow money to purchase the equipment and already own it from day one? That's the equipment loan. That's the equipment loan. So that's what we're talking about today. Equipment loan. So we can actually give you the money, you borrow the money, pay for it, and then you just pay it back to bank. So whether you're doing a lease or you're doing a straight loan to own it out. All right. So leasing helps you to preserve cash flow, while loans build equity but requires upfront investment. That's the thing that a lot of times people don't have. All right, when they're getting the loans, they don't have the upfront investment. You don't need that when it comes with leasing. So once again, think about what I'm saying. You can lease a vehicle under this same program, under your business, okay, and not have to come to the table with a whole bunch of money. All right. So the pros and cons of each loan option. So here's the pros and cons. So the owner. So with leasing, no ownership unless you buy it at the end. You won't own it when you're leasing, opposed to owning the equipment from the start. Now, if you own it, you can sell it, you can liquidate it, you can use it for leverage down the line. So, even if you are trying to get another loan and you need something tangible, a lot of times you do have some hard money lenders that will lend against the equipment for you. So one of the benefits that of owning it, that you can leverage it into to borrow against. Okay, when you leasing it, there's no down payment, or there's a very low down payment. Okay, it's a low or no down payment. A loan requires, I don't know, it's supposed to be requires a down payment. It's not a required no down payment. It requires a down payment. It requires a down payment. That's a typo. All right. Tax benefits. Lease payments may be tax deductible. If you buy it, the depreciation and the interest may be tax deductible. All right. So now you can write off what, the depreciation. Once you buy it, you can write that depreciation off. What about flexibility? You can upgrade as easily as a lease. You can upgrade easily at the lease end, or if you buy it under the loan, you get a long-term commitment. Costs over time may cost more in the long run, opposed to lower costs over time. So there's pros and cons to, whether leasing or getting a loan when it comes to equipment. Okay. So leasing is ideal for flexibility. At the end of the day, this is what it's all about. Leasing is a good idea for those that need to be flexible, and it's good for preserving cash flow. While getting a loan are best for long-term investments and ownership. So people that want to get the loan are concerned about actually owning it outright for their business. They don't want to give it back. So you just have to find out what's best for your customer and what their long-term goals are. So you got to choose based on your business needs. You got to understand the client's business needs. Do they have long-term needs? Is it short-term needs? What are their needs? What are their needs? So secure funding for growth without relying on personal credit. All right. So businesses need funding for equipment, but most qualify based on revenue, okay, assets, or business credit. Okay. So when you're getting funding for your equipment, it's going to be based on your business revenue, your business assets, and your business credit. All right. So this can limit options requiring strong financials or alternative lenders. All right. But we can, of course, if you have good credit, that's all the better. If you have good credit, it's all the better. It's open up more opportunities for you. Okay. So this is how it works. Equipment financing allows you to purchase or lease equipment using the equipment itself as collateral. You're using the equipment itself as collateral. Okay. So lenders assess the business revenue and assess rather than your personal credit. Lenders assess the business's revenue and assets rather than their personal credit. This is all about the business itself, right? That's the good thing about equipment finance. So once again, I keep using the car and the vehicle because here you are, you have somebody with personal challenge credit. I had a lady who actually had a repo. And I told her, I said, just get the car, just go get a car under your business. And she did. She was able to go get a vehicle under her business. And they did not check her personal credit. She was able to get a vehicle under that business. And so lenders assess the business revenue and the assets rather than your personal credit score. That's the beauty of using equipment finance. And listen, it blew my mind when I found out that I could get a vehicle under equipment funding. I just blew my mind like, whoa, you mean to tell me we've been going to the dealership and giving up, so much money when I could have just done this on the equipment loan? So let's keep that in mind. So common options, equipment leasing, low upfront costs, flexible terms. Vending financing, which is, of course, you would love to get that. That's direct financing from the equipment suppliers. They're going to give you the best rates. They're going to give you the best terms when you can get vendor financing, right? Revenue-based lending. Those are loans based on the business income. So you need to get equipment and you're going to do a revenue-based loan. Just make sure you got all of your income in place. Or if you want to do one for a customer, make sure they have all of their income, their business income intact. So you can use their revenues to base how much they can get in terms of a loan for the equipment. That makes sense. So now the right equipment can be the difference between stagnation and success in your business. All right. The right equipment can be the difference between stagnation and success in your business. Think about that. Not being able to be competitive with other companies because you don't have the same equipment and infrastructure that another company would have in order to properly compete. Right? So the right equipment can be the difference between the stagnation and the success in that business. If you're missing equipment in order to produce, inventory and things of that nature, my wife has a line of a clothing line, and she would buy at first when she first started, she was buying the clothes from different vendors and then just reselling it. And I said, okay, we have to start designing your clothes and create manufacturing, right? So she said, where are we gonna, how are we gonna manufacture? Well, you gotta get with a manufacturer that has the equipment that's able to produce mass numbers of your garments, okay, of the things that you're selling. But they have to make sure they have enough equipment to, to sustain. All right, because if they don't, it's the difference between stagnation and the success in your business. So you have to make sure they have the equipment to sustain your business. So with strategic equipment funding, you can scale operations, you can boost efficiency, and you can increase profitability just by using equipment funding, getting in the game, right? Getting in the game and expanding your horizons, talking to your client, expanding their, their operation without them dipping into their own cash flow and draining their own cash flow. Now, whether through leasing, loans, or vendor financing, there are options that allow you to grow while keeping your financial risk low. This is this is what it's all about: risk minimization, right? Risk minimization. All right. You want to make sure that you minimize your risk. And how do you do that? By leveraging your credit and not putting your liquid capital out. And I believe that that's the rule of thumb for everything. And whether it be equipment loans, whether it be buying for real estate, whether you even marketing, things of that nature, that it's always best to use OPM. I like using OPM. Why? Because it keeps my financial risk low. Okay. So here's an example. A construction company needs $100,000 for new machinery. Instead of them using a personal credit or using their personal credit, you may have challenge credit, what have you. They secure an equipment loan where the machinery serves as collateral. Remember, the equipment is the collateral itself. This is also why the lenders, this is a good place to say this, that this is why lenders don't like equipment that's movable a lot. And I'm not saying they won't finance it, but it becomes, if a piece of equipment is movable, it becomes a higher risk. Remember, the lenders are, still, risking their money on these type of equipment loans for you. So they want to make sure that is it something that's really movable? Can, if you stop paying, can you hide it? What can you do with it? Right. So they like things that's bolted down. They like things that's tied to the ground, things that's welded. They love those type of equipment loans. So when you have those type of equipment loans, and the rates is a lot. I'm sorry, the rates are a lot lower because the risk is a lot lower. So they're going to offset the risk by rate. So if it's equipment that actually moves, like a truck or semi, things of that nature, they're gonna offset that risk by rate. So you'll get a higher rate because this is a movable object. Okay, so of course something that's not movable, that's bolted down and tied down, you get better terms. All right. So think about the next big leap for the business or your business. What equipment would take you to the next level? Instead of waiting or stretching your budget, just take action. Explore funding options today and equip your business for success. All right. So this is what this is about, guys. I mean, you got customers out there that's looking to expand in their business right now. When you're trying to find out who do you serve as the clients and who do you prospect, things of that nature, go and talk to businesses that's already in business that that may need equipment to expand. Especially in this market right now, people are looking to expanding, and banks simply aren't giving out money like they would normally give out money. Okay, so this could be a good niche for you. This could be a good niche for you. Some of you all got customers right now that you're doing funding for, whether it be a hotel deals or whether it be, some type of business deals. Think about it. They may need some equipment funding. Think about what you got in your pipeline. they may need equipment funding. Okay, just think, So once again, this is still part of commercial lending. We're going to be talking about some of that stuff tomorrow in our commercial lending course. But right now, just for the sake of our sales training, that this is a piece that you can make a nice commission on, and you can do it fast. Okay, and you can do it fast. Okay, equipment ain't cheap. It's not cheap. As I mean, to fund $100,000 in equipment in 5 days, that's quick money for you. Okay, so okay, Dave Rose, he put in there G2globalnetwork.com. Oh, he just put the website in. Yeah.
Yeah, I was taking a look at it, man. It looks sharp.
Yeah,
Can't wait to see the finished product.
Yeah, they still in there working, man. It's coming along though. He said we should have the links and everything like that in another week or so, so they're still working. Okay. So, all right, y'all. So that's equipment funding. Think about some of the things that's in your think about some of the equipment, some of the opportunities that's in your pipeline and some of the customers that you talk to on a regular basis, and just start, when you start thinking about like, hey, does this customer need equipment in this business? And you start looking like, wait a minute, he does need equipment. He does need equipment. And I thought about it one day. A lot of people need equipment loan. They need equipment funding. Okay. All right, that's it for me for today with that. I just wanted to go over that today, just kind of give you a little information on how you can utilize this equipment fund to obtain some more dollars in your pocket as well. Because people sleep on it. They don't notice it's something you can close in a few days. It doesn't take a long time to get approved for equipment loans. Okay. So Ewan said, what about the IRS 125 on hold for now? The site, it should be up. So the developer is working with the site. Eva, as they had to take the other one down for a second while they was putting the other one up. They said it should be up, I guess it's supposed to be today or tomorrow. So it'll be right back up. Don't worry about it. It'll be right back
thank
up.
you.
Okay, no problem. Okay. Anybody got any questions about equipment?
No.
Go ahead, Damon. Go ahead, Damon. Check your phone off of mute.
How you doing? Yes.
Hey, Damon, we can't hear you, man. It's like you're on the water.
All right, hold on. Give me 1 second. I know what to do. Dude.
You gotta get Damon a new headset, guys.
Bluetooth.
That's all right. Go ahead. So
check the Bluetooth. Yeah, right there.
So anyway, guys, as Damon's fixing his phone, just remember this is something that you can do quickly. When you're thinking about, you got to try to close some deals fast for whatever reason that is. This may be one of those options of trying to find some equipment.
All right, I'm back. Can you hear me now clearly?
Yes, we can.
Sorry about that, everybody. Yeah, I wasn't able to make it on time, and I wasn't able to make it last week. My main thing is, can you send me the link for this slide tonight and last week's slide for Thursday? Because I missed those.
You did? Okay. Yeah, I will.
I missed last Thursday because we didn't do Friday, and I only got some of tonight.
Really?
Yeah. I came in at 8:21.
All right. I will make sure. You just want the slide?
Yeah, because I always take snapshots of the slide every time we have a training.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I take snapshots, but I can't take no snapshots if I'm not there. So if you have, I don't know what you do, PowerPoint or whatever.
Yeah.
If you have a link to it, I'll take the link. That's all I really want. Other than that,
got
yeah, I appreciate it. How's everybody doing?
Yeah, we're doing
Great, thank
well.
you.
Okay, cool.
All right.
Same here, Mo. I wasn't here. I mean, yeah, I
Thanks.
wasn't a participant last week. I was unable to come.
All right. So Eva, I just put the link in there for Discord. So just click on that. Benny Johnson, click on this link as well. That I just put inside the group. That should take you right in. Anybody that's not in Discord, click on that link that I just put inside the group just now. I just put inside chat. Click on that and go inside and set up your Discord, okay? Go ahead, Dan. You got another question?
I don't see it, Mo.
It's
Unless
inside
I-
it's inside the chat. Oh, you know what? I put that on the Benny. Let me make this to everybody. Sorry. You guys see it now?
I see it.
Yeah, as it relates to the website,
It's up.
huh?
It's up.
Right, it's up, right. Okay. What was I just looking at?
There's a place for us to log in. I don't know what that's about.
Yeah, they're still working on it. Yeah, you'll be able to log in.
Did you ever schedule that meeting with Medina Jones?
No, I reached out though. I don't know what happened after that. I did reach out to her. I think the last thing that we talked about was trying to schedule some time. I reached back out. Maybe it was left on me. Maybe it was left on me to schedule the time, but I reached back out to her. Okay, guys. So click on this and go to Discord and make sure you have that. If you don't have it, let me know. If it doesn't work, let me know. All right. But that's my training for today for equipment loan. Put this one under your belt as well. Just more information that you can utilize in the future. Okay. You can utilize this in the future. All right.
Thank you, Mo.
All right. All right, guys. I will see all of you all later. And you don't have any more questions for me, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Okay.
Have a good night, guys.
All right. Have
You
a good
as
night,
well.
guys. I see you all at the top.
Did you get that scripture?
Say it again, Benny.
Hey,
Okay. Yep. I got it right now. It's the scripture you want me to read.
yes,
Okay. This is for,
Nate.
won't focus on it. Okay. Yep. I will do that.
Okay. Good night. God
Okay.
bless.
Good night. Yeah. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.